Hello there, welcome again. And in this video, we're going to be talking about preparing for the freshman year in college. And yes, there's going to be some overlapping from preparing for your freshman year to just preparing for college in general, but there's also some unique things you can do or challenges that a freshman is going to have that you can help better prepare them for that. We'll talk about that in this video. This video, unless your child went to a high school boarding school, we're going to be talking about really perhaps the first major transition in their life. That's leaving home to go to college. The preparation for that is really we need to talk about 4 different areas to help your child get prepared for that first year and get them really onto that path for success. So let's get at it. First and foremost, of course, is academics. We got to help them be ready for the academic skill sets that are required in college. Now, along with that academics, and there's habits that I'm talking about in there too. It's understanding the self-discipline needed to get yourself up, get to class, understanding like what your norm is for how you function morning or evening, managing your time, because are you going to be getting enough sleep with all the social kind of things going on? Can you have the discipline? Do you have the ability to say no to peer groups who are going to go do this, that, or the other thing, as you understand that ultimately you want to enjoy college, you want to experience college, but you have the academic expectations that if you don't meet, you aren't going to be able to experience all those other things. You really got to help your child with those skills on how to study, how to seek help out, how to go about really thinking, problem solving wise, critically, writing good papers, communication. Those skill sets need to happen. And then that kind of goes right into this other piece, which is beginning to have the understanding of managing their daily living. In this case, I'm talking specifically about finances. Finances can begin to become stressful for college kids, especially if they've really kind of understood that they're taking out some student loans or what have you. They've got their spending money they need to deal with. That longer term thinking about this money I have for the year, I can't spend it all like right off the bat. That was me when I was in college, my freshman year. I didn't really know how to plan it out, right? So, last thing I wanted to do was go back to mom and dad and like, I spent all my money. Can I have some more? I didn't want to do that. But in the beginning of the year, I had a meal plan and all that. But I liked to kind of live high on the hog on the weekends. And a bunch of buddies, oh, we're going to go down to Boston. We're going to do this. Oh, yeah, I'll go with you guys. And pretty soon I'm spending more money than I really had. So I get to March and April and I'm like, oh, no, I can't do anything anymore. Like I can't really have fun anymore. This kind of stinks. I'm out of money. That adds extra stress. You want to help prepare your kid so that they can manage those finances well. The other area I want to talk about, I've already kind of alluded to a bit, and that's the social pressures. And there's, you're going to a new place. You likely are meeting people for the first time. And there's different cultural components too. Even within the United States, people who come from different places have different cultures, different expectations, different understandings of things. Just sometimes the simple language can be different. And it can take you a minute to get that. So I had an experience when I was in college of going to Europe to visit my cousin. And the language that they use, and they came from all over different countries, but they all spoke English. He went to an international school there. And one of the slang words that they use for going out and drinking too much, getting drunk, was they're going to go get pissed. Well, that's not what pissed means back in the United States in the early 80s. That, if you're pissed, you're angry. So it was like, what the heck? And trying to figure out the context. But that sort of thing can happen in colleges as well. We're going to go for a packy run. What's a packy run? I have no idea. That's different language. We're going to go get six pack, right? That's a packy run. That was just kids from another state. That's the term they use. We're going to go out to the store and get a six pack. So little things like that, you might think are minor, but there's just an adjustment period of trying to fit in, depending on the school you go to, and whether a local university that brings a lot of local kids, or you're bringing a lot of kids from away from different states and cultures. There's that piece of figuring it out and really knowing you and being solid in your own value structure, so that in your attempt to try to fit in and develop friendships, you are really aware of, who to hang out with and maybe who not to. All that kind of begins in high school, getting you ready for that transition into that freshman year where you're away from home. And lastly, got to talk about my favorite subject, mindset. And mindset will point to those other ones. Your child's mindset is going to influence their academic ability, their ability to develop skills, to be flexible in their behavior, all of those things. It's going to help them deal with financial stresses, even if they've begun to make mistakes because they're out on their own first time, and they will. That mindset is going to help them learn and grow from that. When you've developed that mindset, the social piece, right? Being able to figure out things as they go, understand the culture of where some of these other people are coming from, and being confident in yourself and your ability to connect and kind of learn and grow. That is all mindset related. So when you train the mindset, you are helping them go into new situations with confidence, with some habits in place, with the integrity of who they are, knowing what their value structure is, knowing that they can. I'm not doing that. Don't you guys go ahead, have a great time, without it necessarily interfering too much. I'll give you another real quick example of a roommate I had in college, and he didn't really have. This was not freshman year, by the way. All right. When I transferred to a university, I roomed with a longtime friend of mine, high school, even all the way back to elementary school. And we had another roommate. And this other roommate we had met through somebody else. But anyways, make a long story short, he couldn't say no, and he started doing cocaine at the time. It was the drugs. This is the 80s. And neither my other roommate and I, we wouldn't go near that stuff. But he developed a real addiction problem. And he kind of finally woke up to this when a very good, close friend of his came from Minnesota to come visit him around an extended Thanksgiving break for her. And she kind of saw what was going on. And this friend who he was really tight with, hung out all the time with, as soon as he's trying to put the brakes on, no, I can't do that. That friend was gone. He was pressuring him at first, but then he realized how sincere the guy was, and he was gone. It wasn't a friend. But my point with that story was, this was not his freshman year, but he had never developed that going into that. And the pattern of not being able to say no and kind of make those right choices began that freshman year. So it's all mindset related. You got to help your child develop that mindset. Now, as we wrap up another video, I once again encourage you to really think about how you're going to take what I say and apply it in your own life, your own situation. I invite you to subscribe, to check out our other videos. In particular, you might be interested in how to prepare for college while in middle school. So you can check that video out today, and I will see you in the next one.